to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Thursday, March the 12th.
Thursday, March.
Thursday, March.
Where are we marching to?
Mike, it's almost the Ides of March.
You
realize that?
I am well aware.
The Ides are so close, Mike. Days away from the Ides. Welcome into the show. Mike Wright is here. I'm Andy Holloway. Jason.
We'll just say this. Number one, Jason's perfectly fine, everybody.
That's probably a good place to start.
There was just a unfortunate series of timing of events. So he's on spring break right now. His kids are on spring break. And so he wanted to go out with the family.
Our kids are
running out of time
next year.
Yeah, next week.
Oh, or next.
Yes,
next year.
They will have that too, but
next week. Yeah.
I mean, all of our oldest are in junior year right now. So we have 2 years of spring break left with the kids.
They're gone.
There was an unfortunate. Jason's in some way too cool school, so his kids are on spring break this week. Ours are on spring break next week. So we were like, okay, you go ahead. You could take the week. It's fine.
And then 2 weeks ago, he had an advanced medical procedure that we can't disclose, but he's completely fine.
But he is totally fine.
And someday he'll disclose it. Something happened to him.
Everyone will find out
later.
And he's okay.
But he's 100% fine.
He's not okay. He's great.
He's still a part of the show. I saw a couple comments that were like, is Jason not on it anymore? It's March, people.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be back.
It worked out that way.
It'll be a full set of 3-man shows for next week's show, so you're not gonna miss out. One
of us might get sick. Don't
okay,
overpromise.
You're right. I guess I'm setting us up for failure.
We've been running into some weird stuff lately.
That's fair. It is March 12th. We have a good quick question on today's show. We have some more free agent frenzy. We have your mailbag questions, and the landscape of the NFL has changed. A lot of new faces and new destinations. We talked through a lot of them on the last show. We said some things that are completely untrue on the last show because apparently you can take things back. It's like Jason was going to be here this week, and then he decided to retract that commitment.
The deal is not done until it is done in the system.
So we'll talk through that as well. The 2026 Ultimate Draft Kit. The pre-order is available right now, lowest possible price at ultimatedraftkit.com. It will be the best Ultimate Draft Kit you have ever used because we continue to add features, and the mobile app has gotten a complete reworking. It's been upgraded. We have new features in the Dynasty Pass, like the scouting report tool or prospect scouting reports, that is.
Yep.
And so there's a lot going on there. You can check it out at ultimatedraftkit.com. Our quick question of the day is a simple one. Which underperforming player in 2025 will be a steal in 2026 drafts for fantasy?
Going with the word steal in your answer, I agree that your guy should bounce back, but a steal?
Well, I don't think Terry McLaurin will be properly valued in fantasy drafts, so that is my answer.
Best ball wide receiver 24 right now.
Yeah.
Which seems like Terry McLaurin should easily outproduce wide receiver 24.
Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised it's that high, like 24 in best ball, though, with what he was able to do the year before. I mean, last year feels like a deleted year for Jaden Daniels' career.
Yeah.
And for Terry McLaurin. Yeah, I mean, he's a really, really good wide receiver. He is the alpha on this team. If he's drafted at 24, like you said, I think that's basically the basement, barring another significant injury.
And he missed 7 games. He played half a game there in the middle, against Kansas City, where he did end up 3 for 54 with a touchdown in about half of the snaps. So, I mean, he got hurt, re-injured, I should say, in that game. So he pretty much missed 8 games.
Yeah, and it was wild because he came back, got re-injured, like you said, against Kansas City, and then the next game out, he gets 14 targets. I mean, this is the dude for the team. Debo is not going to be a part of the equation here. I don't know where else maybe they draft somebody, maybe they get more value out of one of the news pieces that we're going to have to break down. But I'm gonna tease that one.
There were, and I've seen their name connected with some of the other higher paid wide receivers as well. Like Romeo Doubs, who went to the Patriots. We'll talk about that. But Washington,
they need somebody.
Reportedly was in. They were trying to get him added to the squad. Obviously, he didn't go there.
So I think Terry McLaurin will end up a steal. I think the resurgence of the offense with Jaden Daniels returning. They only played 3 games together last year, weeks 1, 2, and 14. It was a lost season. Best ball wide receiver 24, probably where he goes in redraft, and I think he'll be a steal.
And I'm going to bring up Chuba, where
look at you,
Chuba Hubbard.
Look at you,
because he
no longer stands in the way of Rico.
I have never had ill will to Chuba. I like Chuba. I think that what was it, 3 years ago, he was a very interesting later-round guy who really came through. Last year, it was I felt that Rico was good enough to take Chuba off the field. It got Chuba started, it got real messy there. Halfway, Rico takes the job, then Chuba takes the job back. It was just kind of a mess. At where the depth chart stands right now, Trevor Etienne was a later-round rookie that they took last year. And then Jonathan Brooks, second-round pick from a few years ago, all accounts of his second ACL tear. The recovery is going well. But it's still recovering from another ACL tear. And right now in best ball, Chuba's the running back 29.
Oh, that's a great one.
I mean,
Chuba's a great pick. They have Trevor Etienne, who I think will probably get more. I feel like Trevor Etienne gets more work than Jonathan Brooks.
I don't know how it's going to shake out, other than I truly believe that Chuba will be the main guy. Not that I don't think Chuba's got the super sneaky top 10 in him, but RB29 for a player who will be very valuable on multiple weeks when you need those nasty running backs from time to time. And the Panthers, that's who they want to be.
Nasty running backs?
Some teams just truly want to establish it, and that's what the Panthers want. I think
people forget he got paid.
I think that the shakeup of last year, when you're that paid and then lose your job to Rico, who's not getting paid, it's understandably a frustrating situation and confusing. But I think that confusion now is just leading to a discount of a player who, Chuba's probably a running back too, with some spike weeks in there, and he's not even being drafted there.
No, I think it's fair. It was a weird year for Chuba, for sure. Dowdle caught fire. He was everybody's favorite for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Dowdle was 51% of the carries.
Yeah.
Of last year. Is Jonathan Brooks and Trevor Etienne that combination? Are they good enough for 51% of the carries? I don't know. It might be down in the 40s.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. Jump into free agent frenzy.
Free agent frenzy.
I'm just gonna follow up the Terry McLaurin news with the news that I teased, which is that the Washington Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been the year of Mike. Things worked out for K9, Romeo Doubs in the free agent frenzy, but not everybody that Mike has loved ended up with a good
because
offseason.
That's impossible. This one is.
Well, look, the first
upsetting.
thing that happened was the Cardinals added another running back. They signed Zonovan Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Which pushes.
What?
So Zonovan Knight, Tyler Algier, and James Conner are there all to ruin Trey Benson for you.
They saw Benson's 5.5 a carry last year, and they're like,
bleh.
We don't want any other. You know what? That's too good. That's too good for what we're trying to accomplish.
That won't get us the number 1 pick. And then the news yesterday.
Oh, man.
Pretty big news. Chig.
I am the Sinnott.
Chig Okonkwo signed.
Someone got primaried.
A 3-year deal, right? Chig Okonkwo, 3 years, up to $30 million, leaving Tennessee.
That's right.
That's right. He's got his own drop to battle the Sinnott there. The Commanders signed Chig Okonkwo. Zach Ertz says he wants to come back and play. And now Ben Sinnott lives.
I just wanted to see if he could be good.
You don't get to.
I know.
You don't get to see that.
It's so frustrating. It's so incredibly frustrating to be. You got to rewind the tape of. I was a big stand for Ben Sinnott. And I'm like, guy, in the tight end landscape of that draft, I thought he was way better than people were talking about. He ends up being the second tight end drafted that year in the second round. And it was like this full redemption of my scouting of his tape and his peripherals and his production and everything. It was, holy crap. People were not on him. I loved him. And then it was, okay, we know he'll probably take a year because Zach Ertz is there. And Cliff Kingsbury just loves Zach Ertz. And then now Ertz was going to be gone, and it was the Ben Sinnott time.
Sorry, buddy. This would be like if the Cardinals signed Chig Okonkwo right before
yeah,
Trey
right
McBride
before
got
the
his
Trey
opportunity.
McBride breakout.
No, you got Troutman, bro. You got Troutman.
Yeah.
All right, the big news that
they're the ones that spent a second-round pick on Ben Sinnott.
Right, it's really the joke's on them.
Yeah.
One thing you notice, though, this entire offseason is that teams have had to run out, and they're signing these Charlie Kohler, these run-blocking tight ends.
The meta. Ben Sinnott could still be on the field.
What, Tonjes McBasketball just got an extension?
Well, he had to.
Yeah, well, of course.
With George Kittle not going to be ready.
But, yeah, if you do the dirty work, you get paid. Same with these the fullbacks that have gotten traded and paid.
The fullback landscape is going to be fascinating to see if it works out. Because like I said, the meta of the defense, it changes over time. It always does. It catches up to the offense. The offense can no longer do what they want to do, so they have to figure out a different way forward. And the Rams feel like they're the ones spearheading this. And the Seattle did it a lot too, of just, you're like, oh, you're a little bit smaller now because you wanted some speed to catch up with all the wide receivers. Well, now deal with our big guys. And you're like, oh, well, our defense isn't big enough.
Reggie Gilliam, Alec Ingold, Patrick Ricard, all moving teams this offseason at fullback. All right, the big news that we didn't get to talk about because we reported the trade that is now no longer. Maxx Crosby.
Oh, man.
The Raiders, they woke up to news that the Ravens had backed out of this deal. I was reminding Mike, and you're going to have to be an old head in fantasy football to remember it, but the Ravens have done this before.
Yeah.
Brian Grant was an emerging wide receiver from the Washington Redskins at the time.
Brian or Ryan?
Ryan Grant. Ryan Grant. No, it's Ryan.
Okay.
And or is it Brian? Now you've got me double thinking.
Well, you're the one who said Brian.
No, it's Ryan.
Okay.
And he had signed, or in the open negotiation period, he was going to sign a 4-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens to play wide receiver. The Ravens end up getting news that Michael Crabtree is going to be released by the 49ers.
Yeah.
And they back out of their deal.
All of a sudden, someone's not healthy.
Yeah. Ryan Grant had not missed a game in Washington and then gets failed on a physical, and they end up picking up Michael Crabtree. It didn't end well for the career of Ryan Grant after that point. He ends up with a year in Indianapolis and flaming out.
That one felt really bad.
So
because he didn't get his money.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to speculate. I don't know. I mean, obviously Maxx Crosby was hurt in the year. He had surgery. And then the Raiders go out and spend all the money that they were going to save from Maxx Crosby. And now Maxx Crosby is going to be back. The Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson.
That's where it gets extra suspicious.
Yeah,
I know you're
paying for Trey Hendrickson.
You trade for Maxx Crosby for it because you have a need. And so no matter what, should Maxx Crosby have they found something in the medicals that they were very concerned about giving up 2 first-round picks for. So maybe they
right
found
between
that.
the meniscus and the patella tendon was a way out.
Right.
That's what they found.
It feels bad, but Maxx Crosby put out a post essentially declaring that he'll be a Raider now.
Yep.
Well,
all the other teams that were in on him went and spent free agent money. Like there were trade rumors for Dallas, and then Dallas goes out and gets Rashawn Gary, and they make other moves and they spend their money. And the Raiders, they were going to do this deal because they got a haul. They don't want to go settle and then lose Maxx Crosby. They've got to look at it like, hey, they just acquired Maxx Crosby in free agency again after they went out and made their team better. It seems like he'll be back. Trey Hendrickson's going to be a member of the Ravens, so it's a significant deal. 4 years, $112 million, and he will replace Crosby, and they will not lose any first-round picks.
And Burrow still loses.
Burrow loses always. Colts signed Daniel Jones to a 2-year deal worth $88 million, up to $100 million in potential value.
Okay.
Quarterback 6 in fantasy from weeks 1 through 8. No more Michael Pittman. Big money paid to Alec Pierce. Tyler Warren emerging and will continue to emerge. Josh Downs.
Would you have rather?
I mean, the 2-year deal is interesting. Not making a long-term commitment.
If you're running an NFL team, would you have rather done this, gone in on Daniel Jones coming off the Achilles tear for that money, or gone Malik Willis?
I would rather have Daniel Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, he was really, really good. What was it, a 7-1 team when they traded for Sauce?
He was. But you have to have at least some concern for the injury. That's a big-time injury.
Yeah, Achilles.
And number 2, Daniel Jones has done this.
Are we figuring the Achilles thing out? Like, have we scientifically now gotten to the point where we can look at this differently? I mean, Jason Tatum just came back mid-season.
It's still TBD, though.
I think someone invented a new little surgery or something.
I think we need to just when you go into the NFL, you go and they graft something onto your Achilles and make it stronger.
You're saying they should do it beforehand?
Yeah, we're getting
preemptive strike.
We're way too strong now. Like our Achilles are not evolving.
What if you
getting bigger and thicker and stronger? They're the same tendon.
This may sound really complicated science-wise, so if you can't keep up, I understand. We're obviously experts.
Of course.
What if you pre-tear everything?
No, I don't think that's
No, all at the same time, and then you reinforce it all.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because they say if you break a bone, it heals.
Yeah, but that's a bone.
I'm right about all
of this. A bone and a
right?
tendon are
of course
very different.
You break all your bones, they all heal stronger. You're like Wolverine. That's what I'm saying.
Can you pass down your Achilles
to your child?
Yeah. Like we have like organ donor on my license. Should something terrible happen to me.
But this is more of a bequeathing.
Yeah. It's like as I pass for my oldest son.
How does that work?
They take my Achilles and they.
Why does he want yours?
Because it makes it stronger.
Oh,
now
he gets double.
Yes.
Now you're making scientific sense.
Yes.
So you got
What's better than 2 Achilles? 4.
So your uncle, your grandpa,
yeah,
they all can't walk, but they're just rolled around.
I mean, pretty soon you're going to have a lineage of like a kid with 16 Achilles.
Yeah. No, this is. What do you think, Jay?
Honestly, we'll have a shoe problem then because you're not going to fit into a shoe.
Actually, Jay Grizz makes me think about maybe you start using animal Achilles.
Ooh, like a bear Achilles? That's got to be real strong.
Yeah, but not necessarily for people. All right, so Daniel. Okay, there we go. You keep doing that, Jay. We're taking your Achilles. Daniel Jones'
Joke's
deal.
on us. He doesn't have legs.
That's true. That's true. He doesn't have an Achilles.
He wouldn't fit in the chair.
There were so the Daniel Jones move with Alec Pierce gives me great confidence in Alec Pierce. The Jacoby Brissett being the quarterback, dealing with for Trey McBride and even Michael Wilson. Like those are a little bit stabilizing for situations that were awesome last year. Like Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce, like this was part of the equation for the Colts. It was like, this is Daniel Jones's dude. Let's get rid of Michael Pittman. Let's spend the money on the youngster. I think it's good for Pierce and Warren.
I agree. Yeah.
I would feel much
longer
like
term.
For your example of if Malik Willis had been the starter for Indianapolis, I'd feel way more in the dark about what kind of potential I'm going to get from those guys.
Yeah, it's understandable.
All right, more news, but let's take a break first. Mike, the Patriots. We haven't talked about this?
No, not
all
on,
the
not
shows
on the
are blending
show.
together.
Yeah.
For those that want an extra show every week, we have the Footcast available for supporters of the podcast. Go to jointhefoot.com for that. Must have been where we spoke about it earlier, or maybe the Dynasty show. Who knows? Romeo Doubs, 4-year deal with the New England Patriots worth $68 million. Romeo Doubs is going to, by all accounts, step into the vacated role and opportunity of Stephon Diggs. They moved to Romeo Doubs. They've already started producing the oversized helmets in New England. They got the
they got
the invoice
for the Guardian cap.
For the Guardian cap. How do you feel about this?
Personally, fantastic, because Romeo Doubs is on my dynasty team.
He's not
Now,
yet 26 years old.
In terms of what is the true fantasy value for this, Romeo Doubs is it's a tougher evaluation because he was a 4th round pick. Let me double check that. Yeah, he was a 4th rounder, which, the NFL is saying, yeah, you're a pro. It's going to take you some time, which it did. In the year 4, he hit 724 yards.
That's his career high.
So, yeah, career high in yards per route, targets per route run. The targets per route run at 22%. Not too bad. I don't think that Romeo Doubs going to Drake May with this money catapults him into being he's a top 15 guy.
I want to play a game, Mike. I want to play. We both say, because it's March and this is when we should know for certain.
Okay.
I want you to say out loud what he's going to finish at wide receiver, and I'm going to do the exact same thing.
Okay, hold on.
So it's like wide receiver and then the number.
Hold on. Let me do some really, really good, thorough research here.
Okay. Obviously, you can do that in a matter of seconds.
Yep. No.
now.
I got it.
So we're both going to say it. Wide receiver.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Wait. No, I can't count and
1.
set it up.
I got it.
Okay.
I will count. I won't say go. I will just say the number.
Got it. You do the counting.
1, 2, 3, 20.
26.
So I went 20. You went 26.
Not bad.
Yeah. This is perfectly acceptable.
Relevant.
He takes this. Yes, relevant.
He matters.
Relevant. Probably not a game changer for fantasy football. Stephon Diggs, though, a reminder, was the wide receiver 16, and
He finished at 16?
Yeah. It was he
Wait, let's do it again. Count it down.
1, 2, 3, 20.
22.
Okay. All right. That's not too bad.
Now, I will be curious to see
was-
if New England makes another splash in the draft. There's some
Right.
strong. I mean, last I looked, at least according to our Felix model on the projections,
Right.
it was like, you get beyond the big names for wide receiver, and we talk about it a lot in the Dynasty show, maybe not as much yet on the main show, but Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate are kind of the top 3. You go beyond that, and what we're talking, Denzel Boston, we're talking KC Concepcion, right? And then you go beyond that, you got Malachi Fields,
Yep.
Jeremy Bernard.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing some other names? Omar Cooper Jr. So all this to say, those are all guys that have potentially first and second round grades.
Right.
Or, based on the production profile and the stuff that our model are looking at. My point is that this is the strength of the draft, is wide receiver. And there could definitely be some of these names where they arrive. Like Dobbs' signing does not make me throw cold water on any big wide receiver drafted there. So if Malachi Fields or Concepcion ends up in New England, I'm not going, well, this guy can't perform because Dobbs signed there.
Right.
So it will be interesting to see if they add another weapon for Drake May or they want.
Mac will still be there. Which, hey,
I think Mac is relevant too.
PSA. Mac Hollins, if you are not aware, and look, Mac Hollins is not a sponsor of this show. If you don't know about Mac
We've actually really never had one player be a sponsor of the show, but go on. If any player wants to sponsor, I would love to say this show was brought to you today by T. Higgins.
T. Higgins. Cincinnati Bengals.
T. Higgins, the wide receiver. Yeah, that's amazing.
But Mac Hollins' Instagram.
I'm talking to you, Austin Eckler. Sponsor this show.
Oh, yeah. We'll get down with Eccles. Mac Hollins' Instagram page is incredible. It's just it's Mac Hollins.
Is he doing the to-do stuff?
Yeah, he
DIY?
shows you how to fix your house.
Is it called Mac Hacks?
That sounds right.
Is that facts?
Yeah. Yeah, 60-second tutorials for everyday tasks like flushing your water heater or fixing a garage door.
He's not in a relationship.
I'm in an online relationship with Mac Hollins.
If you got time for that,
it's awesome. It's a great follow, and you'll learn a lot.
Yeah.
So Mac Hollins will be there, Booty will be there, and Kyle Williams will still be there.
No, they got a good crew.
It's not that they won't add, or they might add, but the point for Dobbs is he will have to elevate in terms of a target share. Green Bay is he did lead Green Bay in target share, but the way that they play is if your fantasy wide receiver is on the Green Bay Packers, you've never been happy. You're always frustrated because you just when you think Romeo Doubs is happening,
you're a piece of the huge pie.
He disappears. Just when you think Christian Watson is happening, something else happens. And I think the Patriots will probably be something like that. But if Doubs can hit a, let's say, 22 to 23% target share, he will be relevant. Stephon Diggs was at 21% last year when he finished as the wide receiver 16.
Geno Smith was shamefully traded in the New York Jets.
Dude.
There are a handful of teams this offseason suffering.
Oh.
The Cardinals fans are suffering. The Jets fans are suffering. The Falcons fans are suffering. Why? There's no reason.
Just play Fields.
There's no reason to do this to your fans. What are you doing?
It really is mean. It's mean-spirited.
I mean, the Raiders got a better pick. They're going to pay most of the money, though. They are going to pay most of the money.
Well, they were going to pay him regardless because he was going to get cut.
They're like, if we're going to pay him, let's go. Who would fall for this? They're like, who's going to go out there and maybe trade us a pick for? Will it be the guy?
NFL, everyone, we're going to cut Geno Smith and the Jets. Whoa. He cannot hit the free market. We got to lock this up now. Geno, get him on the horn.
Oh, my gosh. There's just teams that are doing stuff like it's on purpose to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars in an interesting signing. Interesting signing. They signed.
Crod.
Go ahead. Crod.
Crod.
Chris Rodriguez Jr. signs a deal 2 years worth $10 million, 6.2 guaranteed. It's not big money, but it's not bad. He's 25 years old. He is going to a team where he played under Liam Cohen at Kentucky.
I'm glad that he's back.
Because of Cross.
Yeah, he's a fun nickname. Honestly, for Chris Rodriguez, $6.2 million.
That's not bad.
That's very, very nice for him in terms of NFL money at the running. This is nothing. This is like Najee Harris.
This is the depth move for Jacksonville.
I think that Bashal Tutin will still be the guy. They needed another body. You lost Travis Etienne.
Yeah, you have to sign somebody. It doesn't freak me out, but it's also it's a potential depth like rotational guy for Liam Cohen that he's familiar with.
And it will. So that'll be a fun.
And he is good. He was pretty good last year.
Yeah.
4th in rush success rate. 2nd in yards after contact. He was always held down in Washington.
Yes.
Corey Krosky merit.
So I will still be on the Tutin side of the backfield argument, but that will be a fun one to watch over the offseason.
We talked about Chig Okonkwo signing with the Commanders.
The people hate it.
Did you just ask the people?
I did.
Live studio audience?
Yeah. They hate it.
They hate it. Is Chig going to be relevant for fantasy, do you think?
I mean, if he actually plays the Ertz role, he will.
That was something that Jaden Daniels relied upon. The Commanders right now are vacating 59% of their targets from last year. Debo was 23%. Ertz was 17%. That's interesting. If you were going to be excited about Ben Sinnott, then you got to be a little excited about Chig Okonkwo. He's always been an athletic freak. And it's weird because players like this, every once in a while, they can just take over 3 or 4 games. Like he did it at the end of 2024, right? That's when he had the run for fantasy players.
Yes.
Which, he's never really been, he's always been outside the top 20 at tight end in Tennessee. But he had top 10 finishes in 3 games from week 12 on in 2024. It's interesting.
He has athleticism. He has needed an actual opportunity.
Took a while for Johnny. Maybe. This is cool. This signing is another one. It's kind of like the Crod deal.
Mm-hmm.
Former Ravens running back Keaton Mitchell is signing with the Chargers. 2-year deal. Okay, that's not a giant name added to the backfield. It also feels a lot better going into the draft. Like Hampton, Mike McDaniel's the new offensive coordinator. They've brought in a fullback. They brought in offensive line weapons. They brought in a blocking tight end. Are we going to get the Hampton Express?
I think this signing is great for Hampton.
He's not a red zone threat.
Exactly. And, it would with Kamani Vidal, Sassoon.
So silky.
Yeah, so silky, so smooth. I like it. I think I think it's fun for the Chargers. Good for Hampton to be a workhorse, and then having actual good depth behind him. Just in case some other player has to take over.
Yeah, it makes me. Mitchell's never had a carry inside the 5 in his career, so that is
really
never.
Well, I mean, when you score from
he's
far
he's
away,
a little, thunder and lightning situation.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, Aaron Jones.
Oh my God, the people hate it. The people hate all these moves that negatively impact my dynasty team.
I think the booing you're hearing is from Mike's dynasty roster.
It is.
Aaron Jones is now
that is actually
back with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah,
we had just talked on the Footcast about Jordan Mason and potential, and how bad the offensive line was, if they can fix that. And then Aaron Jones, they released him just to bring him back and restructure the deal.
Yep.
And now the backfield's going to be Jones and Mason again.
Yep.
And that's all you have to say about that.
Yeah, it'll be messy, and unless they fix the offensive line, it will be really nothing for anybody.
Well, we are recording and releasing this show on Thursday, the same day that Kyler Murray is going to visit and, I think, sign with the Minnesota Vikings. Kyler was finally formally released. Arizona owes him a cool $36.8 million. It is a very weird thing when you release a player that is probably a better quarterback than the two that you have on the team, that is probably going to instantly be signed by somebody known as a quarterback whisperer on a very competitive football team. It is weird when another team judges that the guy that you're letting go is a must-have instantaneously.
Yes.
I've talked about this. The Cardinals, the clock ran out for the Arizona experiment with Kyler Murray, but I will not be shocked if he's successful in Minnesota. I will not be shocked if he makes Justin Jefferson successful again in Minnesota. That team has so much structure around it, defensively, with the weapons on offense. I mean, do you expect it to work for fantasy if he lands in Minnesota?
Yes. I believe in Kevin O'Connell that much in his offense. Kyler would be, I think, a much safer situation for fantasy football players of, that earlier pick on Jefferson. It should be just fine. We've seen Kyler hyper-target. When he first got Hopkins got all the targets. We were frustrated with how the offense wanted to use Hopkins in not a route tree, but a route bush. It was all just at the line of scrimmage. That won't happen to Jefferson. So that it's the clearest, most obvious thing that should happen is Kyler go to Minnesota. Did you see the way the what was put out though of the interesting of he's going to go talk to
check some other places?
Yeah, it was starting opportunities for Kyler right now would be Pittsburgh and Minnesota. I think that's really it. Those are the two options. Now, if you could go to a team like the Rams and just hang out, collect a big fat check from the Arizona Cardinals, learn the McVay system, which people want McVay players. So that I don't think that's a terrible option. Should Kyler feel like it's not a fit with Minnesota?
Yeah, I think the stuff getting put out is he wants a starter opportunity. That's not going to happen.
2 of them.
That's not going to happen with McVay immediately.
Right.
I think it was reported by your boy Tom Pelissero that he's going to have Zoom meetings with executives from 3 to 5 teams that potentially have a need for quarterback in 2027. So it's like what you said, waiting another year.
Dude, I don't know if he wants me to say it or not, but I'm saying it anyways. Lead injury analyst Matthew Betts for the Fantasy Footballers, also a co-host of the DFS and Betting Pod.
Also recovering from an injury.
Pod. Yeah. Great guy. I get a message from Betts about 2 days ago. He's blocked by Pelissero.
Matthew Betts is blocked?
Yes. And he's like,
because he throws in a comment or something?
He's like, I have literally no idea. I have never interacted with this man one time. And so it was hilarious of somehow Betts catching a stray, an online social media beef when I am the hornet of this conversation.
Yeah, you certainly are. And look,
So
Kyler
I
could
mean,
end up.
look, Tom, come on. Let's bury the hatchet. Why are you blocking our guy Betts? What are you doing?
So if you believe in the quarterback whisperer, Kevin O'Connell, which you've
Yep.
always said on the show,
Yep.
it feels like that could go two directions with your J.J. McCarthy belief. Because it's like, I would think you'd be like so out on McCarthy quickly because it didn't work for McCarthy and it's worked for everybody else. So that would be like an indictment on McCarthy. The other view I guess you could take is that he'll figure it out with McCarthy.
That's where I lean. If McCarthy was not good last year, there are you can pull up some advanced analytics and make McCarthy look like essentially the worst quarterback of football last year. Maybe that is totally correct. They did win a bunch of games at the end of the year, and he's had very little actual starting opportunity. This was his rookie year. His true rookie year was completely lost to injury, and then he lost a whole bunch of this year to injury as well. So that's just I think JJ could figure it out, but the time may already be up. It might just be Kyler.
Yeah, the pressure cooker situation in Minnesota with everything else being so good and the career of Jefferson on the line feels like they can't. Even if it's not Kyler, it feels like you got to bring – I mean, Kirk Cousins could absolutely end up in Minnesota.
Yes.
That would be like if Kyler doesn't go there, I think it ends up being Kirk Cousins. But we'll see.
I mean, we would have to see with contracts and stuff, but it's not impossible for Kyler Murray to go to Minnesota and not win the job.
Yeah, I guess if McCarthy, at least you can short leash McCarthy. Let's take
which
another.
Would be hilarious.
Oh my gosh,
you think
that's your dream?
Well, it's my dream because
as a Cardinal fan,
I'm a little upset with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he didn't bring us anything.
Maybe it's just his personality, rubbing me the wrong way. But it always all the Call of Duty stuff, in the extension, they literally put in you have to study time, and then
you're saying behind the scenes there are some things.
He got cut. They're giving him $37 million to go away.
Yeah, his leadership. The differential between Kyler, this is undebatable. There are Josh Sweat of the Cardinals doesn't want to play without Jonathan Gannon. Gannon got fired. Like other people took the fall. The leadership difference of Jacoby Brissett and Kyler Murray has been well spoken of.
So for Kyler to go to a team of just be like, no, I'm the starter.
Well,
and then lose would be just there will be.
Have you seen this 9 guy? That might be the one leadership situation Kyler wins the day on.
Yeah,
Mr.
Could be
Mr. Makeup in the locker room.
Oh man.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll talk some more free agent signings and jump into some mailbag questions. A couple of last-minute mentions. Khalif Raymond, I think we might have talked about that, goes to the Bears. That's a good signing. He's a pretty good player, special teams guy.
Good special teams guy, and you just don't got to worry about his snaps in Detroit anymore.
No, you don't. And Go ahead. Oh, the lights came back on. I bet you were a little worried over there, Al.
There was a second that
yeah, I was like, oh, those are off for good.
We've been doing some work on stuff, and I wasn't sure if it was hooked up properly.
Yeah,
I guess
for
it
Isaac
is.
Tesla, no more Khalif Raymond. Jake Tonjes back to the 49ers. Bucks placed an exclusive rights free agent tender on Sean Tucker.
Which that was news. They were not going to tender him, apparently, but they did. So Sean Tucker will be back. The Tonjes one, I think, is important for fantasy football as Jake Tonjes with no George Kittle has been good.
Yep.
Like good, not just a serviceable tight end, good for fantasy football. Brock Purdy and that whatever it is that's going on in the system, Brock Purdy can find the tight end and he has a connection. So he will be interesting should you get the report, hey, George Kittle's not going to maybe pop, maybe miss 4 weeks, and you can, in your draft, just take Tonjes late and then figure it out off of the waiver wire.
We'll find out if they do this multi-Achilles thing.
Oh, our new plan?
With Kittle.
Well, I don't know the status of Kittle's grandparents.
Right.
I don't know if he has any Achilles to attach.
They have to be living?
Well, that could, yeah. Or maybe it's like a kidney. You're just like, I'm done.
Wait, what do you mean? They don't take kidneys from dead people.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can donate a kidney while I'm alive.
I see.
And maybe you're like, yeah, George, Little Georgie.
I think maybe the veracity of all of our speculation here, it's starting to come into question. I'm not sure any of this is really possible. I'm not positive, but I think we may be talking out of our butts. But let the comments tell us. The Texans signed tight end Foster Moreau to a 2-year deal. They had just re-signed Dalton Schultz to a 1-year deal. Moreau, Schultz. Panthers signed John Mechie, who continues to find deals in the NFL. Cardinals signed Bam Knight to just further twist the knife into Mike's Trey Benson adoration. What else is going on? We got those fullback signings.
Wait, Kyle is breaking.
Come on, Kyle.
This news is too good.
Kyle, don't trust the internet, man.
Kyle, did you vet this? That George Kittle's grandmother.
His what?
George Kittle's grandmother, Lou Jean?
Lou Jean, first of all, that's a great name.
Also, a.k.a. Lucky.
Well, that's why I would go with Lucky instead of Lou Jean.
Well-known, beloved figure who turned 103 years old? In January?
You want a 103-year-old Achilles, Mike? You want to take this woman's Achilles? She's probably not walking, though. It's probably available.
Lucky.
It's probably available.
George needs you.
So literally, he's got a 103-year-old grandma.
That's wild.
With a tendon just sitting there.
That could be completely fake, but I want to believe it's true.
Her tendon's fake?
No, that she's 103.
Kyle, you can't know any of this information about George Kittle's grandmother.
This is true.
Don't doubt Kyle's research.
She resides in Iowa and recently stopped driving around the age 101 or 102. She doesn't know which of those she stopped driving.
Grandma Kittle rules, man.
Grandma Kittle. I feel like it's got to be a little safer in the open roads of the Midwest for the elderly. You know what I mean?
Than like
or
L.A.?
Is that safer?
Or, well, like a little old
safer
lady
for
from
other
Pasadena?
people. Yeah. What is happening? Some backup quarterback signings. I guess Teddy Bridgewater went back to Detroit, Jake Browning to Tampa, Sam Howell to Dallas, and I don't care. Let's answer a couple questions.
Mailbag.
So Lucky Kittle.
The Jake Browning one to Tampa Bay. I mean, so the Bengals. Who's the Bengals' backup quarterback right now?
Yeah, who is it? Falcon.
I'm looking real quick.
Bengals?
Sean Clifford. So there was some reports of that Joe Flacco might go back to Cincinnati.
We'll find out.
Which would, oh man, we need it.
You need it.
Yeah, the world needs it.
Your dynasty team needs it.
An insurance quarterback.
No, it
in
would
this
be
economy,
it would be good for Chase and Higgins, sponsor of the show. T Higgins. T Higgins. Welcome to T Higgins Studio. Brought to you by T Higgins.
I like that bit.
Yeah, that's an example of the kind of attention you'll get on this show if you sponsor it. Austin Eckler, you want a piece of this? I'm asking. Kyle, Juszczyk, you want fullbacks to get more attention, Kyle? If you sponsor this show, I guarantee you the base salary of fullbacks go up over the next 5 years because of awareness.
Yes,
it's awareness.
It would
marketing.
only be us.
It would
nothing to do with a constantly rising NFL salary cap.
We will be the push. For fullback salaries.
Yeah.
You're losing money not sponsoring this show is what I'm saying.
Juice. Get it together.
You got a great nickname. This could be called Juice's House.
Could be.
Spitballing there. We're going to have to come up with a different name. All right, some questions for you. Website question from Case. Dynasty trade question. Nabers for Kenbone Walker. No.
As in?
Like you don't trade
you
Nabers.
You get Nabers?
No, as in you trade Nabers to get Kenbone Walker.
I would not do that.
No. I mean, do you believe in Nabers long term? I mean,
do.
He should be good, right?
I'm not letting the ACL change how I think about Nabers.
Carter wants to know, Mike, Instagram question, more or less excited for Drake London's situation this year?
More
or less compared to what? To Cousins playing quarterback? Or
I think you just say last year.
Same.
Yeah, I would same or less.
Cupcake Craig writes in, should I trade T. Higgins, former sponsor of the show, for Jaylen Waddle?
He's already done. He's already made it through his entire sponsorship.
I haven't got any checks in the mail. It was a sample. That was a bit of a tease.
First one's free.
T. T. Higgins, should I trade him for Jaylen Waddle in a dynasty? I have Malik Willis for the stack. I'd rather have Jaylen Waddle.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
I would rather have T. Higgins.
Okay, there you go. I mean, the stack is not really factoring into my equation there. I just think with Tyreek gone, I think we're in store for a couple of really good Jaylen Waddle years.
I like Jaylen Waddle. I think he's a good acquisition for a fantasy team right now. But
No, I get it. I think it's fair to say that you prefer Higgins. Both guys love getting hurt.
Right.
They love it.
Yeah, so if you're going to say that you're out on T. Higgins because he gets hurt all the time.
No, I didn't say it.
Then don't go get Waddle.
I didn't say it.
And T. Higgins.
And I wouldn't say it. He's a sponsor of the show. Never would.
If both are healthy, T. Higgins will be more productive.
Instagram question. This is a great one to finish on. Jason writes in, Jason23, not Jason Moore. Current landing spot crush for Jeremiyah Love. Here's your top 10 picks.
There's only one.
Top 10 picks in the draft right now. Las Vegas. That'll be Mendoza. So the Jets, Cardinals, Tennessee, Giants, Cleveland, Washington, New Orleans, Kansas City, and Cincinnati.
It's really Washington or bust for me. No, that's too aggressive.
I think Tennessee would be a really good home. I think Tennessee is one. It's the perfect situation that you're like, well, do I really like that situation? And I think you will. I think I like Cam Ward. I like the change in the head coaching position. Offensive coordinator Brian Dable. Tennessee works for me.
Okay.
So if I was picking a spot there, I would say Tennessee, Washington.
I mean,
the end of this, and
Tennessee and the Giants.
What if he goes to Cincinnati? Because if he drops to 10, Mike, the pressure will actually be on Cincinnati to do it.
It definitely would be, and that would be the end for Chase Brown.
That would be bad.
I don't think he can possibly get to 10. The fact that the Saints at 8 and Kansas City at 9, who both would have sprinted to the podium should Jeremiyah Love go there, the reason that they dished out the money is they know 100% that Love will not make it to 8.
I agree with you, and you look at the drafted odds right now, Tennessee's number 1, Washington's number 2, the Giants are number 3 with the Cam Scatterboo situation, and the Cardinals are number 4 tied with the Giants, and the Cardinals are absolutely in contention here. Mike, is that not the most – the Cardinals have no money tied up in running back. They really don't. The Connor deals were nothing. Benson, nothing. Bam Knight, nothing. Algiers deal's teeny.
If I still cared about the Arizona Cardinals, I would be furious.
Yeah, okay.
If they drafted Love.
Okay. I think that it could happen.
Go ahead. Do it, Arizona.
I mean, it is idiotic.
You know what's great? A top 5 wide receiver contract, just waste it. Totally waste him in that and all that cheap year, the cheaper years for Marv.
Nope.
Jeremiyah Love.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Waste his career.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Mike's feeling good. All right, that is going to do it for today's episode of the show. We'll be back next week with Jason Moore. Tuesday episode, coaching changes. We'll jump into all the big moves of the offseason, the fantasy implications with these free agent moves. We'll catch you then.
Special thanks to T. Higgins. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.